Dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yo, what's good, original crew, man? We're back, baby. We got a Patrick CC visual today, man. We got the dark reality of Hollywood body transformation. Yeah. I'm surprised nobody has really talked about this when it comes down to Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I noticed and like learned about like when I was young is how like these people go through these transformations for these roles. And then I think it possibly have a longevity effect for them when it comes down to like their everyday life. Because some of these people get, especially like the weight loss. Yeah. Some of them get into it becomes like an addiction for them. Because did you ever watch that movie 50 Cent? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Did you hear how he had to get in shape for that role?
I can't remember. I watched the movie for sure.
So he says for him to get in that role, he went on a liquid diet for months. Like only liquid for him to be able to lose that weight and to get to that shape. Yeah. And I said, dang, but anything for a role. And then the movie didn't even turn out to be that good. That's tragic.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even did it, you know what I'm saying?
That sucks. That part sucks.
Yeah. But hey, with that being said, before we get into it, make sure you check out the links in the description box.
Down below.
You already know where to go. If you want to first pour out, you got to do it. Check out down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's visuals,
lock it in with a thumbs up.
But hey, man, let's hop into it. Let's check it out. Let's see what. But that is something that like that should be like looked into more in Hollywood. Is like some people just because it's this image thing and they refuse, and you know. Yeah. But hey, let's go, man.
Some actors get dangerously skinny, others get suspiciously muscular. Some drank gallons of melted ice cream to gain weight quickly, whereas others were forced to take pills by producers before they were 18 years old. This is not standard acting protocol. These are actors who risked serious injury or death all for the sake of a role, and in some cases, the damage lasted the rest of their lives. Today we are looking at the dark side of Hollywood body transformations, starting with Tom Hanks, who's lucky he did not pass away while filming Castaway. In the film, Hanks plays the role of Chuck Noland, a FedEx executive whose plane crashes into the Pacific Ocean, leaving him stranded on an island for 4 years. At the time, Hanks's natural body weight was around 185 pounds, but his physical stature in real life would not accurately match the character he was portraying. So for the early scenes, before the crash, where Chuck is still living a normal, comfortable life, Tom intentionally packed on nearly 50 pounds to reflect a man who eats all your favorite calorie-dense comfort foods like burgers, fries, and milkshakes. Gaining the weight was essential to make the body transformation even more dramatic, going from slightly overweight to dangerously underweight. After filming the first half of the movie, production shut down for an entire year so Hanks could lose the weight and come back looking like someone who'd been surviving off coconuts and fish. And this is where things got brutal. He went on an extreme diet, eating mostly vegetables, fish, and drinking water. Ain't nothing wrong with that though. No sugar, no refined carbs, no red meat. Basically just enough food to keep him standing. To burn even more calories, he added daily cardio, running and swimming every day. By the time filming resumed, he looked like a completely different person. On top of the dangerous weight loss, Hanks got a small cut on his knee that seemed harmless at first until it got infected and turned into a serious problem. His body didn't have enough nutrients to fight it off. He said, "I got an infection from a cut and it was eating its way through my leg. I didn't know it, I just thought I had a sore." Wow. He ended up in the hospital for 3 days, and the film production was shut down for almost 3 weeks. But it gets worse. Years later, Tom revealed he had developed type 2 diabetes, and his doctors told him it was partially because of how often he had pushed his body to extreme lengths for roles, with Castaway being one of the worst. Even though the film earned him an Oscar nomination and is considered one of his best performances, it also may have left him with permanent health issues. And while Tom Hanks transformed while chasing an Oscar, 50 Cent risked his life for a film that nobody saw. No awards, no acclaim, just a brutal weight cut for a role that did not give him the credibility he was hoping for.
Which is true, bro. The story is a dope story. but the film was trash. You know what I'm saying? And that's be sometimes the problem with some of this is like the story is meant to be told.
The 50 Cent one.
Yeah, the actual yeah. Castaway too. Castaway was a great movie. I watched it on BET back in the day.
Yeah, I remember it coming up. Yeah,
That's why I watched it on BET.
Other than that, I don't know. Yeah.
In 2011, 50 Cent released a film called All Things Fall Apart. He wrote it, financed it, starred in it, and most people have never heard of it. But during filming, he went through one of the most extreme physical transformations any actor has ever attempted. He played Dion Barnes, a top college football player who gets diagnosed with cancer. The character starts the movie healthy and muscular, then rapidly declines into a frail, sickly version of himself. And 50 decided to show that transformation for real. It wasn't just a creative decision, it was personal. Growing up, one of 50's closest friends died from cancer. He said that memory stuck with him, and if he was going to play someone going through that, he felt he had to get it right.
I had a friend of mine that died of cancer growing up. So it was exciting. And when I was making the physical transformation, I concentrated on how he actually looked to me.
His routine sounds simple, but it nearly killed him. Every day he ran on a treadmill for a total of 3 hours. When the fatigue set in, he'd slow to a walk, but he never stopped completely. Plus, he was doing this while barely eating anything of substance, just a liquid-only diet. No processed food, barely any calories, just protein shakes, coconut water, and unsweetened juice. With so few calories, his body burned through all the fat and most of his muscle, and the side effects were obvious. He looked unrecognizable. His cheeks were sunken in, his frame looked like skin and bones, and his eyes looked visibly exhausted. He later admitted he was constantly lightheaded and had to mentally force himself not to eat. I was starving. I would have to restrain myself. I had to discipline myself not to actually eat. When the transformation was complete, he had lost 54 pounds in just 9 weeks, dropping from 214 to 160, which may not sound extreme to some, but when you're naturally a big guy like 50 Cent, that kind of weight loss can be seriously dangerous. And although 50 took the role as seriously as anyone could, the film didn't do nearly as well as he hoped. It had a small budget and barely got distributed. After bouncing around a few film festivals, it eventually landed on BET a year later, but it received no awards and barely got any attention. And the craziest part about this was that nobody asked him to do it. The director didn't tell him to drop the weight, it wasn't in the script nor in the contract. 50 just wanted to prove to everyone that he could be a serious actor and dedicate the film to his late friend. It did not earn him the Hollywood credibility he was chasing, but it still stands as one of the most extreme body transformations any actor has ever done. People have used photos of this role to mock 50 or troll him because out of context it could look funny, but it's arguably one of the most impressive things he has done in his entire career. And while 50 Cent pushed himself by choice, Judy Garland was forced. Her breakout role demanded intense weight loss, grueling hours, and pills just to function, and what producers did to her was far darker than anyone could have imagined. Judy Garland was just 16 years old when she played Dorothy in the classic 1939 film The Wizard of Oz. It became the most iconic role of her career, but behind the scenes, it was nothing like the wholesome movie people remember. MGM forced her to do things that would never be acceptable today. From the moment she was cast, the studio told her she did not look the part. Even though she was still a teenager, executives said she looked too mature and too heavy to play a young girl, so they put her on a brutal, restrictive diet that consisted of black coffee, chicken soup, lettuce, and cigarettes. No real meals and barely any calories. And that wasn't even the worst part. MGM gave the...
What you look like that for? The cigarette part is like absurd. And 16, man.
80?
I'm just saying cigarettes a period.
No, period. But then I'm like in 80 at that.
Yeah, like that's OD. Like everything they did. She's a child, bro. 16, I'm still a child. Why we worried about, you know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
And I'll say this, the entertainment industry used to be 10 times worse. People nowadays, I will admit, like, they're soft as hell. But back in the day, like, they went through some brutal ass shit that people nowadays couldn't fathom to even imagine.
Yeah.
Meals and barely any calories. And that wasn't even the worst part. MGM gave the 16-year-old drugs to keep her working as many hours as possible. To keep her weight down and her energy up, they gave her what they called pep-up pills, which were just amphetamines. And since the pills kept her wired, they had to knock her out at night with barbiturates. She said they'd give us pep-up pills to keep us on our feet long after we were exhausted. Then they'd take us to the studio hospital and knock us out with sleeping pills. On top of the pills and starvation, MGM modified her physical appearance. She wore a tight corset to flatten her chest, rubber discs in her nose to narrow its shape, and dental caps to fix her smile. The iconic Dorothy look was manufactured down to the smallest detail. Studio head Louis B. Mayer, one of the most powerful men in Hollywood at the time, would walk up behind her and place his hands on her chest to fix her posture. Judy later said she felt completely powerless. She couldn't speak out or push back because she knew her entire career would be over. And keep in mind, she was only 16 years old at the time. The Wizard of Oz became a massive hit that will be remembered for generations, and Judy's performance turned her into a star, but it came at a cost. The same pills that kept her working as a teenager became a lifelong addiction. Judy Garland tragically died of a barbiturate overdose at just 47 years old. If she never did The Wizard of Oz, she might have never become a Hollywood star. Then again, she probably would not have died so young. We've seen actors rapidly lose weight by basically eating nothing but air, and then there's Rob McElhenney, who ate a ton of ice cream to make himself look like a slob. Again, nobody asked Rob to do this. His inspiration came from watching the legendary sitcom Friends. As the seasons evolved, the entire cast seemed to level up, appearing better looking due to larger paychecks to consume healthier foods, afford dietitians, and the pressure to maintain Hollywood beauty standards. Rob thought it would be hilarious to have the opposite transformation as his show, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, got more successful.
And I thought I'd never seen a show in which the characters or the actors specifically tried to look worse as the show progressed. And I thought that if there was ever going to be a show in which that would make sense, then this would be it. So I embraced it. And I decided to look as terrible as possible. And gaining 50 pounds was a huge part of that.
Rob discovered the secret to gaining weight: drink as many calories as possible.
I would have my assistant in the morning go out and buy a gallon of ice cream, and he would put it out on the counter, and I wouldn't eat it until 4 o'clock in the afternoon because it would melt, and I would drink it.
You would drink melted ice cream?
Yeah, because you can drink that many calories a day, you can't eat that many calories. At least I can't.
He started having chest pains, and his doctor begged him to stop attempting to gain weight. However, it paid off, because Fat Mac produced some of the funniest moments in It's Always Sunny history.
What is your confession?
I'm fat. Oh, what's up, bitch? I did it! I'm 200 pounds. I'm as big as my avatar. Is he trying to rip his shirt off? I'm healthier than you, bro? No.
Well, I wouldn't exactly say you're healthy. You have type 2 adult onset diabetes.
I mean, they're delicious. They're full of carbs, which is great for a pump. And they're cheap as
The best part about Fat Mac was the redemption arc, as he was able to use this as an opportunity to get ripped beyond belief and shock the whole crew.
Okay, everybody, are you ready? Bam!
All right, what's up?
What's going on?
Oh, well, I got into really good shape.
I don't really know what's going on here. You look like a baby.
Yeah,
like
so
a
just
toddler.
We're not gonna... Why did I do it?
Nobody knows.
We don't know. Okay.
So
Put my shirt on.
Great plan. I think that's best. But,
go ahead. Yeah.
Congrats, Mac. It looks really good.
Good job.
Can we figure out...
Crazy thing is that Rob trained for months to get ripped just for a 2-minute joke. Now that's dedication. In a weirder twist, when Chrissy Metz was cast as Kate in This Is Us, producers actually wanted her to stay heavier to reflect the character's ongoing struggles with weight. Now, it's no secret that Chrissy was already plus-sized in real life, but it shows what Hollywood producers might demand to bring their vision to the big screen.
They were like, we have to fit you for a fat suit. I was like, what? And I remember getting measured at the costume house, and they're like, it's gonna be 109 inches. Wow. I'm like, oh, okay. They called it the couch. Like, that's what we ended up calling it on the shoot was, oh, here's Chrissy's couch, because it's basically couch cushions. There's a story that I literally got stuck in my trailer. We had a separate dressing tent because I couldn't go in and out of my trailer. So we had it on the stage or on location, wherever we were. And one day I forgot my phone, or I forgot something that was important. I ran back and I got stuck in the trailer. And I thought, who's gonna find me?
And this kind of begs the question
That's
if actors
crazy.
actually need to change their bodies. With CGI and a little bit of movie magic, anything is possible. And
But the thing is, I'll say this: with the CGI, it takes the realness and authenticity out of it. And now I know we got modern day people. Modern day people only think about the modern day, right? And they only think about the entertainment value that they get from things. But you got to think about these people who play these roles, and these people who are passionate about like the art and the viewer experience, and that's the reason why they dedicate so much, like blood, sweat, and tears, literally, into these roles, is because they actually do it with passion. Everything is not about momentarily, like entertainment. It's like I want you to watch this movie today, and 20 or 30 years from now, still feel that same impact that you got from that film today. But a lot of times we only looking at the momentary things of a lot of things, and a lot of things are not aging well. That's even like when it comes down to the music nowadays. Music is hot right now, but next summer you don't even want to listen to it. Like it can be a hot song right now this summer. Oh, this is the song of the summer. Next year, I don't want to hear it no more. Yeah. That's because everybody's just thinking about microwave content. Nobody wants a home cooked content. Like where they cooking it up. It takes time. Like everybody want to be able to go to the microwave and just boop, 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 30 seconds and now I got my meal. Yeah. Or I can go to a fast food and no one wants to sit there and prep and get that, you know what I'm saying? So now that home cooked meal you can eat on for a couple of days. You can't eat on that fast food, that microwave. At this about, you know what I'm saying? You like, oh, I don't want it no more.
Yeah, true.
And some actors straight up refuse to make a drastic change, like Robert Pattinson, who took a different path when preparing for The Batman. Robert deliberately avoided the intense bulking routines typical of superhero portrayals. In a 2020 interview with GQ, he said, "I think if you're working out all the time, you're a part of the problem. You set a precedent. No one was even doing this in the 70s. Even James Dean, he wasn't exactly ripped." This stance was clearly the opposite to previous Batman actors. But the thing is, Pattinson still had a great physique. He did some training, including bodyweight exercises, long-distance runs, and military-style sandbag workouts. By no means was he scrawny or out of shape. A lot of the feelings that Robert did not do enough come from the fact that Hollywood body standards have changed significantly. Because Tobey Maguire's body transformation for Spider-Man back in the day was being treated like he transformed into a world-class athlete.
What'd you do? You do special workout? Because when you finally turn into Spider-Man, you're muscular as hell. Well, how did that work? How do you get that size?
I worked out for 5 months, 6 days a week, up to 4 hours a day.
And do you eat more food when you do that?
Had a nutritionist, and I was eating 4 to 6 meals a day, lots of protein.
Back in 2002,
a lot of people, because there's nothing wrong with him at this size at all. Like he went from being like scrawny to now having a muscular physique, but it's more tone muscle. It's not jack. You know what I'm saying? But the key point that for a lot of these people is they have a nutritionist. Somebody also that holds them accountable, you know what I'm saying, that's helping them. Because also their lifestyle. Because when it really comes down to it, a lot of average everyday humans don't understand the aspect of food portioning. And that's the reason why some people possibly need a dietitian, a nutritionist, somebody who can meal prep for you, just to help you be able to understand, because a lot of people don't understand, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's the key factor. A lot of them being able to gain weight, lose weight, or in this instance, like, I don't think nothing's wrong with this. Do you?
No, but I do feel like nothing's wrong with that if it's like over time, like I feel like
how fast did you gain this?
Yeah, I don't know, like how fast, and then 4 hours a day is like OD. Like 6 days a week, 4 hours a day, you know, like nothing's wrong with working out 6 days a week, but it's the 4 hours a day that's like, you know, I feel like it's a lot of stress on the body, and can possibly be stress on your mental as well if you like you feel like you have to do it and you're not loving what you're doing. Or
True
it's
that,
not like
true that.
You know, because
you
will have days where you like don't feel like doing it, but you still do it, and when you do it, you feel better. But it's like more so, you feel kind of. I feel like I wonder, like in these type of roles, do you feel forced to have to do it because you want to like live up to whatever standard it is?
And
know?
also, it's Spider-Man.
Yeah,
right here.
so.
Like we just talking about Toby, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's Spider-Man. Like this is a top tier role. This could be like a life changing role for anybody. And so it's like I want to do the best I can, you know.
And I do.
It's the pressure.
And also with you, with the nutritionist and stuff like that, I do agree with you in a way. But then also I feel like sometimes you just have to kind of, because everyone don't have that access with money to be able to afford that. So you kind of got to do that research yourself, but they do have that advantage to be able.
And that's
to,
what I'm saying.
You know, but yeah.
Tobey Maguire built an impressive physique while preparing for his role as Spider-Man, but if you looked at him today with the exact same build, some people would say it doesn't even compare to other actors' dedication, because now actors are expected to look like bodybuilders when playing a superhero. And look, I'm not making any accusations out here, but there are tons of credible resources on the internet that suggest that some of your favorite actors are out here doing a little jabby jab to get that Terminator look they so desperately want. So when Robert Pattinson showed up in The Batman with a body that looked, well, naturally attainable, people wanted to criticize him. As a bodybuilder and steroid user, I find it pretty criminal how widespread the usage and denial of usage of PEDs is in Hollywood. It puts in a lot of effed up body image issues, and then they go on and do news stories about X, Y, or Z workout or diet or trendy fitness thing that helped them achieve their goals. Meanwhile, they'd be looking very different without the large amounts of PEDs they're using. Actors don't necessarily need to be jacked to play the role, because Batman is the world's greatest detective, and that alone is enough to tell his stories. Although if you put Robert Pattinson's body next to Tobey's from 2002, it's not that different, but one was called jacked while the other was criticized. It just goes to show what used to be impressive is now considered the bare minimum, and what used to be the bare minimum doesn't even make it past the audition. And while some questioned Pattinson's dedication, Christian Bale went so far for his role that it nearly killed him. When people talk about actors transforming their bodies to the extreme for a role, Christian Bale in The Machinist always comes up. In the 2004 film, Bale plays Trevor Resnick, a factory worker so plagued by guilt and paranoia that he hadn't slept in a year. Obviously, a guy like that would not look too healthy, so instead of relying on CGI or special effects, Bale decided he'd actually become that guy in real life. He dropped down to an insanely low 120 pounds, which is scary considering he's 6 foot tall. That's the kind of weight that would put most people in a hospital bed, not on a movie set. His diet wasn't just restrictive, it was borderline starvation. For months, he survived exactly on 1 can of tuna and 1 apple per day. No processed sugar, no real fat, basically 0 nutrients. To keep hunger at bay, Bale smoked cigarettes constantly and chugged black coffee just to have enough energy to stay awake. He initially wanted to push it even further to around 100 pounds, but the producers had to step in because they thought he actually might die. He changed so drastically, it makes anyone else who lost weight for a role look like they did not even try. He lost all muscle mass, his skin became paper thin, and his bones stuck out in every scene. Bale later described it as feeling like his body did not even belong to him. He was so malnourished that he'd sometimes zone out and completely forget where he was while filming. Even basic tasks like standing up or walking up a flight of stairs became exhausting. He said, "When you're so skinny that you can hardly walk up a flight of stairs, you're like this being a pure thought. It's like you've abandoned your body." The drastic weight loss left Bale visibly emaciated. Immediately after filming wrapped, Bale faced another body transformation challenge. He had to rapidly bulk up to 220 pounds in just 6 months for his next role as Batman Begins. Although The Machinist wasn't a major success following its release, Bale's physical transformation turned it into a cult classic, earning him a reputation as one of Hollywood's most extreme method actors. And we all know that method actors are so incredibly dedicated to their roles that they can often go insane, even potentially losing their lives for their art. But if you want to hear more about that, check out this video.
That's crazy, though.
Yeah, that one was crazy. And then had to turn around and put
Buck
muscle
up.
and put it back on and muscle and jack up for another role. Oof.
That's the tragic part of Hollywood and entertainment business altogether. Because you even see like musicians would do that. You know what I'm saying? Like like artists and stuff because they be like, hey, we need this image. We need this
Yeah.
image from you. And especially when they got like an album rolled out and stuff, they really used to do it back in the day where like you got to do this. It meant like certain things sell. You know what I'm saying? So it's all sad at the end of the day, man.
Yeah, facts.
Because it can be so dangerous. But hey, man, y'all spam us up. Y'all let us know y'all thoughts about it for us in the comment section down below. But until next time, y'all know how it go, man. I do go by the name DJ New Kid. This is
Sierra Nicole.
We are.
Kid and C.
We out.
Go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack and flip for my foes. Dollar, 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 dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar, 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 dollar. Let me